welcome to this, our top to toe Pilates session for about 45 minutes, and I hope that you can enjoy this and we get to do many of your favourite things. Thank you for keeping in touch with me. Let's raise and heighten and just lengthen out toward the ceiling. Let the arms release. And again, big stretch, raise and heighten. And let those arms release. Good, and again, lengthen, then press down, push out through your fingertips and just stretch out through those sides. And as you do that, keep the toes soft and that lengthen and press and push through a little higher. Then let the palms match, so to side, and think open the ribs, soften toes. A little bit more. And then to the middle and change. Good, now to the middle, match and stretch and circles to ceiling. Very strong middles, so we feel that extra resistance as we circle and loosen. And the other way, circles the other way. Stay with that stretch. I love to feel, when I do this, I like just to notice how it feels as I circle around into that low back. Now back in, arms go, shoulders relax them, and then with those arms heavy, ease the head up. Squeeze the neck. Now keep engaging, chin in that middle, so you're opening the airways. Easing the chin in, and again. Just a few. And now lower down the chin. And with that draw of the middle, lower the shoulders, walk down. Go straight down to those knees, so fingertips down. Walk feet back to the knees. And then with those knees into hips, palms into shoulders. Engage very strong center, navel to spine. Hold it there, chin down. Now when you pull navel to spine, feel that gravity again, so really pull it in, navel to spine. Stay. Really strong, pull, pull, pull. And then close your lower back, stretch out your middles, squeeze the lower back, squeeze the neck, stretch through. That's it. And then go back to neutral, chin in, center supports. Pull that center. Remember to engage that center more than you would normally. Just pull it in, pull it in, pull it in. That's it. And then we'll go back to the close. Stretch through the middle and squeeze that lower back. Good, let's go one more time with that center. Engage. That's it. Now alternate. Don't quite pull that navel to spine quite so much, so it's a little more just an awareness. Yeah? Don't pull it too tight, otherwise you'll just not be able to keep that breath nice and easy. So just an awareness, and then lengthen, bring it in and change. Stretch. Press through your hip. Lengthen out through your fingertips and continue. Stretch away. Lengthen. Good. We'll just do a few more. It's a really nice way to stretch, but also when I do this, there's a little bit of a squeeze in that lower back. Yeah, a few of these. Good. And then back to 4. And once I go back to 4, just sink into heels and lengthen away through those fingertips and feel the soften of the shoulders. That's it. Go forward onto knees and square hips, flatten spine, hold it there. So don't collapse your middle, just engage. That's it. And then go onto the left knee and palm. Now your right toes stay down and just stretch and lengthen through that right side. Now sweep the right foot forward and make sure you can see that foot in view. Then turn the left foot in just a little bit. Don't need to, but if you can, do. And keep that right foot in view. Center and then tuck under. So that's back, tuck under. And press your hip on that left side forward so you get a stretch. And then keep that stretch. Don't lose it. Match your hands, release them, out widening. So the whole time I'm stretching across my chest and squeezing my shoulders. I'm pushing my left hip forward. So there's a stretch. Inner thigh stretch. Keep doing that. Keep pushing your hip forward. That's it. And then let the fingertips touch down. Now I'm going to keep my left heel in. If you know that that's too much of a stretch, then go to a neutral. But if you can keep the left heel in and then go onto fingertips. So what I'm not doing, when I do this stretch, so can you see how the foot's in? I'm not going too far over the stretch. Yeah, so it's not too intense. Let me just move so you can see in the mirror. So when you can see that, so I've got the heel in. If you don't like that, then just back to a neutral. So look at this. If you don't like it, just go to there. But keep the raise of the knee on the right. And if you're happy here, then rest your knee on the right and then just sink a little bit into that hip. So there's a bit of a stretch, but it's very much a personal choice. Yeah, so don't force it. But it is quite nice. Have a moment with that stretch. So I'm just a little bit, once you feel a bit more comfortable, you could just sink down a bit more, but just see how it feels. But what I'm not doing is flattening my body weight over the top of my left leg. I'm just going into quite a gentle stretch. Good. And then if you do have the curl of the heel, release it. Yeah. Then slide the left knee back and place the right palm. Now release left arm, right leg together. Now still be aware, navel to spine and lower build. Very smooth. Just this. And when you place the palm and the knee, sink back into heels. Soften those shoulders, relax upper body. And let's go onto those knees and square the hips, flatten spine. Hold it there. Good. And let's go on to right knee and palm. Turn, stretch. Not too much, just enough stretch there. So I'm just pressing through my left hip. Now bring the left foot forward. Look and make sure it's there. Turn the right foot in if you're comfortable to do that. Make sure the left foot's view, or just keep it in neutral. Push here into that right hip. So you stretch out the hip, inner thigh. Hold it there. Engage. Left foot, can you see? Make sure you can see it. Match your hands. Outstretch them. Draw them out, widening the whole time. I'm pushing here, so I'm getting a stretch. And keep reaching. Stretching. Good. And then fingertips down. Again, I'm going to keep that curl of the heel, but you might not want to do that. So if you don't, then release it to neutral. And then into that stretch. So there we are. So not too much going on. Now if you can see that foot in the mirror, can you see where it's gone? So it's curled in, then I have my hips square, and then I'm just relaxing into it. Now, I have had surgery on my knee from an injury, but this stretch is quite nice. Yeah, it doesn't cause mischief. If you have knee issues, you'll either just simply not go there because it won't let you, or you may find it helps your circulation. So don't be put off. Have a go if you want to, but clearly nothing to force. Now, while you can stay very sympathetic, always sympathetic. Don't feel anything has to be done that doesn't feel comfortable. Now, moments I'm just going to sink down a little bit more and encourage a little more. That's it. And then release the heel if it's held in. Bring that right knee back, left palm down, and then right arm, left leg together. Press out through your fingertips. Keep drawing. Center and lower build. If you don't draw that middle, then it's going to feel so much more of a challenge. It's that awareness. As soon as you start to realize that by engaging that center, you feel more stable, then that's it. We've got it. Place the right palm, left knee down, toes turn under, raise. Look at placement, roll through the foot, toes, heels, and squeeze your calves. Boost that circulation. Now I do lift my toes on one side and the heel on the other, and then I'm squeezing my calves. That's it. And then back down to those knees and ease into your heels. And go back to lock the elbows. And stretch, stay there. And then we're going to go forward. Now, what I'm looking for is a stretch across the chest. Have a look, so your thumbs are touching. And then as you go onto your knees, lift the toes, forward, fingertips turn in, and then can you lower the elbows? Now, as soon as you start, think navel to spine, really important. Then chin up and just look straight ahead. Yeah, so don't look down at your fingertips, chin up. And then when I lower the elbows, I'm strengthening across my chest. Yeah, so I can do this, lead in with the elbows, and I can look about, I can look around the room. I'm still working across my chest, so it should feel as though it's sort of strengthening across. And the toes are lifting, so your forward tilt, yeah? Forward tilt, body weight forward. And then chin up, lower those elbows. And strengthen across that chest. Lower down and build. Again, lower. And build. Let's do a few more. Lower. That's it. And build. And again. Slow it down. Always slow with control. If you slow it down, you feel. That's good. And then draw your thumbs together, touch, lean. Now this is even more important, that you don't drop the chin down. So chin up, then lower down. And build. Forward, forward. Back of arms. Okay, I've got a little thing to do. This is where I want you to feel it. If you're hinging back, you'll think that's fairly okay. So we're going to do something here. I want you to get to nearly touch down, then full body weight forward, and then carry on. So it's all about the back of the upper arms. Yeah, I can't believe you can't feel that. It's so strong. Lower, build. Lower, back of arms, keep body forward. One more. Oh, and then lower down. Now let the legs go. Outstretch arms, pulse them. This is to get your circulation back. Now pulse those arms, drop the chin in, and then go maybe a little higher. Good. A little bit more. Very nice. And then draw those fingertips in. Relax those arms. They don't mind, do they? They don't mind relaxing. Now release the right arm ahead and turn. And once you're on that right side, stack your stretch. And then top legs, raise and lower. As soon as you can, keep that draw. As soon as you release your arm, the better. And then as you lift and lower, slightly slow down. So you're controlling. Smooth control. Nothing quick here. Slow control. And then as you lift and lower, there's a feeling of stretch throughout. Think about controlling, slow build and feel the stretch. Now we're not going to change anything from him to do, we're just keep him this low build as we are. That's it, stay with it. Maybe lower legs could lift a bit more. I think my lower leg has gone slightly, had a little bit of a rest there. Stay with this, keep stretching. Good. And then stack pulls, tiny. And it is tiny, it's not, you don't need to worry about big movements. It's so neat, it's very neat, and it's for here. So if you place your hand on the side, just into those sides right there, feel as you're pulsing into that side. Always a good idea to place your hands on the bits you're working, and then it sort of tunes you in a bit. Keep pulsing. Then back to the original, slowly. And angle toes down. Feel. That's it. Good. And let your legs stack. Now turn. Let the right arm stretch away, slightly raise it. And press your hips, soften the head down, shoulders, relax them. And then curl the left heel in. Squeeze your hamstring, lengthen out the front of the leg. Make sure that left shoulder is not hunchy, and then bring the right elbow in. So you're getting the best stretch you can through that right side, and you're not twisting. Good. Now let your left leg relax. Let that right arm rest. Turn left. Stack. Stretch. Lengthen. Make sure you've got a good stretch. And then start the lift. Engage. As soon as you're happy to release the arm, let it go. And then just get yourself in a good place, because we're going to keep this going for a little while, because it's such a nice thing. Keep the neatness, keep the stretch. Smooth control. Think about your technique. Make sure lower leg has a good lift, and just keep drawing that centre. Good. Continue. Keep stretching. Lower legs raised. I think what I love about these side lifts is the simplicity of it, and how you can't not engage your middle. Just to stabilise, you need to engage that middle. Keep this one just a little bit longer. And then let's do our tiny pulls and keep pressing. So it's neat, right there. Into here, into those sides. Tiny pulls, keep pressing, keep pushing through, keep that lengthen, engage in your middle. Good. And then back to the original, angle, toes, back to the lifting leg, feel heavy leg. Perfect. Perfect. And that's good. And then stack. Now turn, leave left arm ahead, slightly raise it. Let the right shoulders soften. Press hips, bring your left elbow in, and then press out through your fingertips. Good. Lift of that right knee. Squeeze the back of the leg. Stretch through the front. That's good. Should feel. Remember, you ought to feel the lower back when you do this. Yeah. So think about the lower back. It ought to feel activated. That's enough. And now release the leg. Bring the fingertips back in. Relax shoulders and nudge the hips in. And let that lower back squeeze. Keep pressing your hips in. Good. That's it. And then toes, turn them in. Heels, drop them out. Legs relaxed, completely relaxed. Shoulders softened. Little raise, tiny. The lower back needs to know it's the job for the lower back. So the shoulders do not hunch. Just enough. Mistake to try and go too high. Anything with height is going to potentially persuade those legs to take over, or shoulders. Good, and let your toes soften, palms back down, relax shoulders, nudge the hips in. That's lovely. And then let the elbows tuck in and lock fingers, chin up, stretch. Now do your best to let the shoulders soften and the head is lifted. Squeeze your neck, lower backs, melt the shoulders. Good. That's it. Rest your head, chin in. Neck is going to be allowed to lengthen, and it really does enjoy this if you let your shoulders melt. Let's stay with this, with the shoulders relaxed, head heavy. Then let the arms go down, don't lift the head, and keep the chin in, shoulders together. Picture that, picture your shoulders rolling in, squeezing in. Really strong. That's it. Good. As you are, don't change. Stay this way and just keep that going. As you are with the squeeze of the shoulders, or add the reach with the squeeze. Don't add the reach and forget your squeeze. So you still want to draw the arms back and squeeze them in. Good. And if you do have that reach, stay next time. And if you didn't, then release those arms ahead and then draw left and soft knees, shoulders out of the way. Match your hands together. Now, once you have your hands matched together, draw them in. Actually, I'll put it this side and bring your knees back to the middle. I'll go to the middle. Now, settle spine, engage middle. And then, as you draw those shoulders down, heavy head, relax there. And then just ease the knees one way, hit the other. And press down. So feel that loosen across the lower back and just massage it. Good work. Soft toes. No need to crunch them. Then go back in to the middle. And as you go back in, widen that posture a little and heels down, centers engaged, shoulders relaxed. I tend to sit up the spine, settle it back down and just give it a few moments to relax. And then once I'm happy to begin, I go forward tilt, bring it back, and for this just start the tiniest peel and print. So forward squeeze, press, peel, forward squeeze, press and peel, and just rock. Just have a rock. Yeah. And there's a good chance you'll already be quite aware of how the small of the back is behaving. And if it's on its best behavior, then you could possibly start to add a little bit more. And if it's a little bit grumpy, then you may stay with it in that lower back and just keep moving there, so you don't need to add on. But if it's on its best, then let's add a little range. It's very good. Squeeze, bring it back, and I'm going to go a little higher as is my way, and that's just because I enjoy shoulders and loose. Well, do you know, that's quite untrue. I don't enjoy my shoulders because they're grumpy. My shoulders are grumpy things, but it's not of their making. You know, they didn't start out grumpy. They're grumpy because they've been walloped too many times. Yeah. So I give them a little bit of love by going into that bridge. And the height of my bridge, they love that. They love that lift toward the shoulders. So do the same if you're happy enough. Peel, get to that raise, press your hips, stretch them out, and then print, squeeze, bring it back, press, peel. Get to that raise, lengthen. Don't have to, you can stay with the lower back. But if you go into this, then enjoy. Peel. Get a nice lift, really nice. And we've done quite a lot to loosen up. So they could be quite happy to do this. Yeah, lovely stretch. Okay, I'm going to just go into my bridge and then stay and lock the bridge. Join if you want to, the raise of that bridge, or carry on with your peels and prints. And if you're happy to join me with some arm reaches, then you're very welcome to come and join me and just let those shoulders loosen a little more. So keep nudging those hips taller and then arms together. Keep that raise. the arms go behind, leave them, and then go slightly taller with the hips. Then I'm going to leave the arms behind, but slowly print, especially concentrating on those last few pieces. And touch down, and then engage, knees one at a time in, sweep around. Let the hands rest, sit spine settle, and then rock. Remember how I don't want you to hug. I know that's a very mean thing, but I don't want you to hug because I want the spine to be just nice and neutral. So the knees align over hips, and then as we go rolling across, your shoulders are not heightened, or we hope they're not, and you're just noticing how the lower back feels as you go across that lower back toward the hips and across shoulders. That's it. A little more. And then back to the middle. And that, as you go back in, light touch on those knees, and then just not the biggest of circles, but a few circles independently into your hips. Maybe get a bit of movement in your shoulders too, just to make it even stretchier. And the other way. Good. Moving around. Then let your knees soften in. And elbows in. Place palms, feel those hamstrings, stretch your legs behind the knees as well. So it's not just about lengthening here, it's also a lovely stretch behind the knees, and that flex point, squeeze the calves and loosen your feet. Stretch. Push your heels, point your toes, lower that down and build. Very good. And I'm going to keep just for a moment a stretch here, so I'm feeling the stretch. What I'm not doing, I'm not grabbing and pulling the legs in, I'm just keeping that lengthen through the hamstring, and I'm stretching. You could, and keeping the centre support, you could carry on with your stretching if this feels too much to stay with, but if you can just keep that stretch, I'm going to sit my spine up, settle it down, and then just keep that moment just there. That's it. Sweep circle those arms, so knees over hips, whether you have full stretch of the legs or you have a soften at the knee, so you could just go to there and circle the arms, or keep the stretch of the legs, and then big reach and sweep around those shoulders. Lower the shoulders back, press around, so lovely loosen around the shoulders. Gather that breath. Then let the arms go down, pulse them, shoulders down. Maybe I would go slightly lower if you had the full extension of those legs, slightly lower at the heels, and then adjust the elbows, tuck in, and press the shoulders down, pulse. That's it, keep pulsing. Keep pulsing. Place your hand on your middle. Is it possible, without losing that neutral and without any push out against your fingertips, to just ever so slightly draw the knees a little bit further away? But you should feel support is encouraged. However, what you don't want to feel is a press outward. So it should feel strong, supportive, but no change outwardly. Yeah, hence the fact that if you place your hand on your middle and you go too far, you find your centre explodes. Don't want that. No one wants that. Now keep pulsing, so just don't add much. If you add anything, it's very slight. That's it. And then back to sweep. Lower the arms. Keep that posture so you're not losing that lift of the legs. Keep the posture strong, and then just big circles. Yeah, so that reach of the arms behind, in the very act of doing that, you're adding to that intensity. Good. And then let the arms go out wide, shoulders relax, outstretched arms. Let the knees go slightly closer so you're not adding too much there. You've got the alignment. And then knees go one way, head the other. Keep upper bodies relaxed. And trace across. Good. Just lovely. Feels great, and it really is neat, very neat. I'm not going so far that I get dragged over. That's it. And then back to the middle. And as I go back to middle, elbows in, shoulders out of the way, and then a very smooth single leg, which you can add to with that. See how I've dipped the heel, or you can soften a little closer in so you don't have to go quite so far with that stretch, and lengthen. Introduce the arms if you wish to, or stay as you are and just keep moving without the arms and that stretch and that lengthen. And if you're feeling stretchy and you're happy enough, go full, which isn't actually, you might think by going full version that adds too much, and actually because it's a bit of balance, it is actually quite a good stretch, quite a nice stretch, because you've balanced out. So you might be surprised. You might not be surprised, but you might be surprised. You may think, oh, it's not quite so intense as it may look. Good. And then back to knees over hips. And if you had that stretch earlier, back to that stretch. Sit spine, settle, and lengthen. Now keep either the raise of the legs or soft knee, and cross arms, and then circles. And they're quite tiny around that tailbone, really neat. And the other way. Okay. Then let the knees soften, and with a double leg, tiny double leg, and this sweep of the arms, just add a little stretch. Now you must not be tempted to go too far with that double. It's quite small. Yeah, quite little. Very, very sort of controlled. And then bring that right knee in. Don't hug, release the left leg, circle foot. Always think sometimes it's not a bad idea to look at the foot and just put it under, let's say, a little pressure. You know, make it circle. And the other way. Good. And then let that left foot soften, change the leg, circle. Oh, you see, sometimes you just need that circle. Good. And then the other way. I've been wearing Wellingtons, and I think sometimes when you wear them, you just need the feet do a little more work in there. So that's quite a nice loosen. And then let your feet soften. Hover, hands above knees, go back to rock and head to close your eyes. See if you can go a little bit further each way. Good. And then go back to the middle. And as you go back to middle, outstretch arms. And with those outstretched arms, you're going to circle into hips. Now again, don't try and think too hard. What I want you to do is keep the outstretch of the arms. You have to use your middle to still stabilize, but just go into those hips, circle. Yeah. And then go the other way. Don't overthink. Just move around your hips. And it's inevitable that they clunk, but don't be surprised. Be more surprised if they don't. Then bring your knees in. Okay, now you're going to go back to circle, but slight change. Toes are turned out and heels are touching. And this gives you a little extra stretch. It still has to be neat. So back of the knees in, yeah, and then reach. Yeah, back of the knees in, and then reach. A bit like a frog, yeah, bit of a frog. Do that again, back of the knees, and reach. One more. Good, and then soften those knees in. Now release your legs one away, follow. Let those arms alternate. Have a lovely stretch. Press through. Get that little awareness of stretch through your sides, into from your hips there. So push through the fingertips. Good. Then fingertips tall. One at a time, shoulder drops. Nice and strong, so lift the shoulder, drop it down, keep those elbows locked. That's it, very lovely. And then match those hands together, raise shoulders, lift. A little more, so nice and stretchy. Separate the hands, scoops and hold. Match your hands together and release the arms out, widen them. I do find it difficult to interrupt when we have sing-song. Now lift the shoulders, reach through. Get that breath into chest, upper back. Good. And then draw the elbows in, over, onto front, and stretch. And let them go. Match your hands together. Now don't clasp them, so just hands match them. Now you're still going to engage that middle, yeah, just above the knees and hold. Stay just there and feel that navel to spine. Hold it just there. Good. A little higher. Good, that's it. Now lower that down. And we'll do a couple more. Crumble's not with us, so we don't have Crumble to swish her tail all around my head. I know. It's much more relaxing, isn't it? Okay, she's stayed in the kitchen. We have Trudy here. Okay, let's do another one. Half. I know, I think it's some sort of cue now that she thinks it's fine to come over and play. Stay there, engage. You should be able to talk at the same time. Yeah, I should be able to talk at the same time. And then let that release. One more to do. One more to do. Can you hear the rain? It's really raining today. It's quite relaxing sometimes when it rains very heavily. Yeah, because we're not out there. We're not here. Okay, one more. Let's go. So half or all the way underneath, if you want to. I do a half now for the simple fact that I can feel a perfectly good support there. Perfectly good. Very nice. And that you can release. Now ease as you do onto those knees. Bring the hands by your shoulders and then ease onto knees. Now it could be the lower back might feel a little tightness. It ought to feel it's had some work to do. So take a moment and have a stretch. Soften into that. Let the shoulders relax. Stay just there. And you can stay there for a bit longer if you wish to. Or, and let's start on knees, toes turn under, walk your fingertips in, down onto those heels. Rebuild, restack, engage, and then pull up tall. Let the arms release away. And again, big stretch. And let it go. One more. Big lift. Match. Follow down. Back to tall. Back to raise. Match them. Bring them together. And well done. And I hope you feel as though you've had some work to do and you feel better for it. Thank you so much for watching. It's just a pleasure to kneel there and Trudy's wagging her tail in agreement.